Semi-finals day in Paris, and under heavy skies, the players battled it out for the ultimate prize, a place in the Roland-Garros final.
Hey everyone, welcome to Live at Roland-Garros. We're on Facebook, YouTube, the Roland-Garros website, and the official app. As usual, we're joined by former world number 5, Daniela Hantuchova, and she's going to help us go through all of this for you tonight. A rivalry's 39th chapter has a familiar finish on clay.
It's Ashley Barty against Marketa Vondrousova in the women's final.
And the world number 1 will have to wait to finish his semifinal tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. It has been a wind-swept day here in Paris. It's still windy. You can see that behind us. And Daniela, first off, these are some of the toughest conditions that we've seen players play through in the recent history.
To me personally, this is the most windy day I ever remember. And we have to try to explain somehow people at home not being able to be here just how windy it was. I mean, at least in this kind of videos you can see, but still, it's not possible to explain for a player how difficult it is to be out there, because you just never know what kind of ball you're going to get. The footwork has to be extremely sharp, but at the same time, it is so frustrating. And, you know, a semi-final day, it's normally when you're going to see the best tennis, but today it was not actually a game against your opponent, but just playing a match against the wind.
And a point you made earlier, it wasn't just going one way, it was swirling all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Like when it's going one way, it's actually easier for the players to kind of figure out your tactics. When you're playing with the wind, obviously you have to put more spin against the wind, you have to hit through, but when it's just swirling around, you don't really know what to do. And you could see, I mean, when you see players like Roger shanking almost every other ball, and he has the best timing in the world, then, you know, that just explains how difficult it was out there.
Now, due to the conditions, they called off play at 6:30 this evening. We're going to get the highlights shortly of where that Djokovic team match was out. But one man who's still out there braving the conditions is Eli. Good evening, Eli.
Hi, everybody. As you can see, a tarp covering the net here on Court Philippe Chatrier. Court is empty. The play, as you said, was suspended. 3-1 Dominic team with the break in the third set. It's one set apiece. And those guys will resume tomorrow. It is, in fact, very windy. And inside the stadium, inside Court Philippe Chatrier, once the wind comes in, it's by gusts, right? So once the gust comes in, it just starts twirling. And so it's on and off. And then, you know, it's supposed to rain on and off for the rest of the evening. Heavy rains even called for later. So there was no point in bringing players off and on the court, you know, for an indefinite number of times. What I suggest is I'm going to go and try and find some information on what's happening tomorrow for you guys. And as soon as I do, I'll let you know, and hopefully you'll come back and see me.
Okay, Eli, thanks so much. Eli's gone from being a tennis reporter to a weatherman, but we appreciate the intrepid reporting there.
It's not that bad.
Off he goes to find out more information. And before that court was empty and covered with a tarp, we're going to see how Dominic team is actually up on Novak Djokovic. He won the first set 6-2. These were really tough conditions for both players, but you had a very frustrated world number 1 on court today, Daniela.
Yeah, exactly. And again, also for the fact that Novak does hit the ball much flatter than Dominic. And if it's windy, of course, it's going to favor Dominic's much more. And you could even see there Novak trying to talk to the supervisor. It was actually kind of a little bit of a funny moment, because as a player, you know that there is no such thing as a rule for the win. So I think it was a frustration, desperation, just trying to do anything to get off the court, because it was not happening for him. And it was not a happy Novak, but it's understandable because it was such a frustrating day for all the players.
So team wins the first set. Djokovic comes back to win the second. It's actually Domi who has a break lead 3-1 in the third. But these are actually the conditions that team's game can play through. Why is that?
Well, just because of the heaviness on his shots. And also he hits with much more spin than Novak. So that gives him a little bit of margin more than in Novak's game to hit through the ball. And also Dominic is one of the physically strongest guys out there. And I have to say, I absolutely loved his attitude. It seemed like there was no wind at all when you look at Dominic's face. And he just tried to be mentally strong no matter what the conditions were out there. So all the credit to him so far.
And that definitely added to the frustration of Novak Djokovic, because he couldn't play the game that he wanted to play. And he looks across the net and team's just doing what Dominic team does.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what was, I think, a little bit frustrating for Novak as well. That it seemed like there was no win on Dominic's side, just because of the fact how mentally he was able to deal with it. And there were some points that, again, I just want to point out, no matter how windy it looks on TV, in reality, it's even so much more. And to me, as I said, this was the most windy conditions I've ever seen on a tennis court. And as I said, if you see these top 4 players struggling, I can't even imagine anyone else being out there, because you can see still, though, in those kind of conditions, what kind of rallies they were able to come up with. And beautiful hands there from Dominic, but great effort from both guys. Even though it was almost impossible to play, they just made it still look really a lot of fun. Maybe not for them, but for the fans, obviously.
Yeah, still some great points there. It is team with that break, 3-1 in the third set, and we have confirmed this match will resume tomorrow, Saturday, for a noon start.
Yeah, and the forecast is looking a lot better for tomorrow, but they were very quick to get off the court because it has been a day of sunshine and showers, and the showers would suddenly come out of nowhere. But we were lucky that on time started chapter number 39 of Fedal, Novak Djokovic against Roger Federer. And Daniela, while you had a feeling for Roger Federer, you did say very clearly, this changes completely if it's windy.
I just want to also point out, right before the match, if you saw Rod Laver on the left, I mean, how special is that moment right before the Fedal match, to have Rod Laver waiting for both guys to get off the court. It just doesn't get better than that. And this is what was so unfortunate. All of us looking forward to this match so much. And then, as Roger said himself afterwards, what can you do? How do you prepare for these kind of conditions? Because having to face against Rafa on clay was always going to be a tough task. And I'm sure Rafa, when he woke up this morning, he was like, oh, yay, that's going to be a good day in the office, just because of the fact how well he plays in the wind. Probably better than anyone. Again, why is that? Because of that extra spin he's got on both of his shots, his footwork, and the heaviness of his balls. And as Roger did try to do everything he could, especially in those 2 first sets, I don't think he could have done anything better. So to me, Roger is going to leave actually really happy and obviously a little bit frustrated about today, because I'm sure this is the match why he entered the entire clay court season, and a match that he was thinking about for the last few weeks, how to get ready for the matchup against Rafa. And today, you can't really tell whether he was ready for it or not, because, as I said at the beginning, it was playing against the wind, not against your opponent.
It was sunny at times today. We're seeing him from this highlight. But once he goes down 2-0, I mean, Roger just felt like he's played Rafa here 5 times before. He was 0-5, 2-13 on clay. Just felt like he had this huge clay mountain to climb. And there's Rafa brandishing his racket at the top of it.
Yeah, exactly. It was understandable. In this kind of conditions and being 2-0 against Rafa, I mean, where do you go from there? So it was normal for Roger to get a little bit frustrated. But at the same time, the way Roger has played here throughout the whole tournament, it's better than I've ever seen him. I mean, his footwork, I don't know how he does it, but it seems like he's getting faster and faster, hitting his backhand topspin better than ever. So all the great things to take from this tournament. And it was beautiful to see also how the fans and the organizers, the other players appreciated that Roger has entered Roland-Garros, because it just means so much to the tournament. And whenever he's part of the tournament, there is just different energy about it. So it was just an incredible time to be able to see Roger once again in Roland-Garros.
And he said that about the fans. He said they come out to watch me practice. I am so appreciative of them, because he was asked if he's going to come back. He said, look, you know what? I don't know. You never know. But I've really enjoyed being back on the clay.
Yeah, and we've been saying it throughout the tournament. Like that smile he kept carrying on his face throughout the whole tournament was just so beautiful to see, almost like he was playing for the first time on clay. And to see that joy after everything he's done is just incredible. And that's why, you know, he's such a great champion on and off the court, the way he treats his opponents, the fans, the organizers. It's always a pleasure to be near Roger, that's for sure.
But it's Rafa Nadal who goes through to his 12th Roland-Garros final. And afterwards, Eli spoke with his coach, Carlos Moya.
They know each other very well, and two of the best players ever facing each other, so it's never easy, and of course it's not the same. You want it to be the same, but you feel some differences before the match, so yeah, you try to adjust a few things. Also the condition, we knew we were gonna have these conditions, so you cannot develop your game as you would like to do it. But yeah, you have to adjust. At the end, this is part of the game, and Rafa can adapt very well his game.
Rafa played very well indeed, and after Roger lost that match, he did go ahead and speak to the world's press. Let's hear from Mr. Federer.
I mean, I think he does that to anybody, you know, on the clay. He makes you feel uncomfortable. The way he defends the court and plays on clay, there's nobody who even plays remotely close to him, you know. So I don't even know who I need to go search for to go practice with somebody who plays like him. I was thinking that during the match. It's just amazing how he plays from deep and then he's able to bounce back and forth from the baseline. It's just quite interesting. No, but my mindset still was, you know, it's windy, anything can happen. I didn't play poor two first sets, in my opinion. I thought Rafa really had to come up with the goods, you know, to make the difference, and the difference was a passing shot here.
I mean, this was the most emotional time of the day, and you can just see how much he means to the tournament, to the fans, and also to Rafa Nadal. I mean, this does not happen too often, and it's just so beautiful to see in our game how much respect they have for each other, and Roger should be so proud of the clay court season he has had, and he made everyone in the tennis world happy, and we, I think, all need to thank him for that.
Yeah, certainly we do, and even Rafael Nadal standing and applauding as Roger walks off court. Also today, the women's semifinals. They were from 11, and first up, Ash Barty, the Australian. Daniela, if you look up tennis roller coaster now, this is, I think, officially the match that would take that definition, because Ash Barty led this match 5-0 in the first set. She had 2 set points after 14 minutes of play. Eventually, she loses that first set and then goes down 3-0. But from there, the Australian was able to climb her way back and into the final.
Well, I think, Nick, if you look up the definition of woman's mind in general, this is what you're going to get. And I've been saying it throughout my whole career, and I think I was a great example of that too. Like, you just never know till the last point is over. And look, it was understandable for both girls actually to go through a little bit of emotional stages because of how much this match meant to both of them. And we have to give so much credit to Ashley, actually, to be able to regroup after losing that first set and start all over again, and being able to come back from 3-love down in the second. And to me, this is where she's done the biggest improvement mentally, because game-wise, we always knew that she can make it all the way till the end of a Grand Slam tournament. But mentally, how she was able to deal with all of that, plus the winter conditions, she's got to be sleeping pretty happy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the big thing, the mental side of things for Ash Barty. After 12 minutes, you've dropped 4 points. You're leading 5-love against a 17-year-old. You're thinking, okay, I've got this. To lose that set and then to be able to regroup in these conditions against an opponent who starts playing tennis.
But you know, sometimes that's tricky when you get off such a good start that you feel like you can almost miss the ball, and then you lose maybe 1-2 games. Suddenly you feel like that's the end of the world, and it's like you can't stop that mindset of, you know, just being really negative and hard with yourself. And to her credit, she found a way to come back, but sometimes that happens when you even win the first set 6-love. All kinds of trouble can come because you suddenly expect that you're going to play throughout the whole match like that.
So we've met the breakout star in Amanda Anisimova, the 17-year-old. We'll see her more in the future, but today was Ash Barty's day. She's the first Australian into the final here since Sam Stosur did so in 2010, and it's her first Grand Slam singles final for Barty. We had the chance to speak with her longtime coach, Craig Tyser, after the win.
And Ash sort of got, ahead really quickly, and then Amanda really stepped up, and I felt like Ash went into a shell a little bit and lost her way. But, you know, in the end, it was a fantastic fight and a good effort by Ash to come back from being, down 3-love in the second, and found a way to win that set and then played a good third set.
When you play a girl like that that's so young that nobody's really seen play much, how do you prepare a match like that?
Yeah, look, we'd done some research on her and watched quite a few of her matches and had a good understanding of how she plays. But, yeah, look, she's quality. I mean, obviously her match against Halep was amazing, and, she can really play. And at 17, she's got a bright future, that's for sure.
Daniela, I have a feeling Marketa Vondroušová would have looked at you at disbelief if you had told her that she would come into Roland-Garros, that she would reach the final, and she would not drop a set.
Deep inside, yes. But to me, what is so impressive that on the outside, it looks like she does this every year, every day. It's like, okay, I'm in the finals. I mean, I just absolutely love her attitude. And again, for 19-year-olds to be so mature is just extremely impressive. And the way she was able to handle the conditions, gotta say, the wind conditions was better for her because she has a very compact swing on both sides. That means less can go wrong. And obviously, Johanna had all those chances in the first set. She was also 2-love, 30-love within no time. So pretty much the same scenario happening on the other court as well. And then she just started to make too many unforced errors. Some shot selection from Johanna wasn't there. It felt like all those expectations were starting to get to her. But all the credit to Vondrousova. I mean, I just absolutely love her style of play. And the way she was able to close it out in 2 sets was just incredible. And I'm so happy for her because I saw her actually right after the match with her team and family in the Players' Lounge. And they're just such a humbled and super cool, normal people. And to them, it's just like any other day in the office. And I think maybe within a week's time, she will realize that, oh, wow, okay, what I've done here is pretty cool. And, hey, we don't know what's going to happen on the final day. So extremely happy for her.
Well, that's a fantastic approach for Marketa Vondrousova and her team to be treating this like any day, any match, but she threw to a Grand Slam final. She's 15-2 on clay in 2019, and she's reached the quarterfinal or better of every tournament she has entered since the Australian Open. She's won 1 title in her career. This year, she is through to her 3rd final and biggest of her career. And afterwards, Eli spoke with her coach, Jan Hernick, a very happy coach, Jan Hernick.
Emotions for everybody, and especially if you stay on the court, it has to be really big emotion for Maki. So the most important was that she could handle it and she could finish the match to winning end.
She came back from down. She was down a break from the first game, yeah?
Yeah. Also in the second set she was down, but she got like a heart of a fighter, and I'm happy for that.
So it's a huge final tomorrow for the women, and actually it's our time to tell you that we will have a preview show tomorrow before the women's final. So we'll be going deep on Barty versus Vondrousova, and that's also our question of the day. So we'll get to that very soon, but it's the time of the show where we get into what's been happening on social media. All right, well, there's so much tennis being played in week 2 of Roland-Garros. And what about for Kristina Mladenovic? She and her partner, Timea Babos, they're into the final in doubles. But Daniela, that win in the semifinals today means that she is #1 in the world in doubles come Monday.
Well, Kiki deserves every part of that because I got to play against her many, many times. And I mean, the talent she's got. And to me, I just hope this is going to help her for her singles game as well, because I just have so much belief the way she plays, physically one of the strongest girls, also one of the super nicest girls out there. And obviously having Dominic doing so well in the tournament, that's got to help her as well. And I think both of them, you can see it right there, they are just so great for our game, because I got to say they are probably 2 of my favorite couples out there, and yeah, I think they motivate each other in the right way, and it's just beautiful scenes. And yeah, extremely happy for Kiki, because the way she reads the doubles court, I don't think there is anyone better than that. But obviously we have to also give so much credit to her partner, because it's thanks to her that she's been able to achieve the #1 in the world. So congrats, Kiki.
Now, we always talk about how tough it is to defend a Grand Slam title. It's exactly what Letitia Chan and Ivan Dodig have done here at Roland-Garros. It was actually a repeat of last year's Roland-Garros mixed doubles final, but there they are again, biting, kissing the trophy and slightly raising it aloft.
Yeah, well, we gotta say in mixed doubles it's maybe a little bit easier because there is not as much pressure, and it's more fun. And yeah, what a day for them as well to be able to defend the title in mixed doubles. I don't think that happens too often as well. So, and especially in this, again, windy conditions. So I'm sure it was super hard day for them as well, and they gotta be really pleased about that.
Okay, it was a frustrating day at the office for Roger Federer, and he let out some of that frustration at one point by belting a ball out of the stadium, which, well, it scared one fan in the front row, but also Tennis TV, ATP Media has made this funny clip. Here's Roger hitting it, and There's the ball landing in Andy Murray's lap.
That's really cool.
I love that.
I gotta say though, guys, this is the best, my most favorite part of the show because I just never know what's gonna come out. So it's really
you
cool
seen
also
that
for me.
before?
I've never seen that before.
It's an ongoing series. Whenever a player hits
Yeah.
a ball out of the stadium, it always happens to
really?
land in Andy Murray's lap.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I don't think there are any balls where we're going now. The task was set for Eli to find someone to have a chat to about the conditions and player being suspended. And I think, Eli, you might just have done that.
Wayne, thank you again for. When I speak to you, it's usually bad news. But so what happened? Explain to us what happened, how the decision was made.
Well, we've got the weather forecasters on site. We've got France Meteo. They advised us that more rain was coming. So in the best interests of the players, the tournament, the spectators, it wasn't good conditions for anyone. It was difficult conditions for everyone out there. So they decided to call it off and bring them back tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
So tomorrow, 12 o'clock. And then what is that? How does that happen tomorrow in terms of scheduling with the women's final?
Well, the women's final was always scheduled for 3 o'clock. That's unaffected. So the boys will be on at 12. Hopefully they'll be finished well in time before the 3 o'clock kick-off for the girls.
And so it's not before 3 o'clock for the girls.
Correct, yes.
There you go. That's the official word. Mr. McEwen, I wish you a nice evening.
You're welcome. Gentlemen.
Thanks. This is how you do it, right? Like this? Like this?
There it is. It's Eli playing the role of Stan Wawrinka, who hugged Wayne McEwen the other day on court. Eli, thank you so much for that weather update. So the men will come back not before noon and the women not before 3. And that actually leads us to our question of the day, talking about the women's final. So it's simple. Who is your pick for the women's final? And before we get Daniela's pick, before we dive into this topic, let's go ahead and hear from the 2 surprise finalists themselves.
I played her twice, I think one on grass and once on hard. We never play on clay, so it's going to be something new. Of course, she's top 10 now and she's playing amazing tennis. She's playing so much, like she's mixing it also like me, so I think it's going to be an interesting match and it's final and I'm just going to focus and try to relax.
Oh, I think the beauty of having Casey as my doubles partner for a few years, I saw that many left-handed serves and left-handed balls coming at me, and obviously it's a different player, a different opponent, and Marquette's got a different shape than Casey did, but for me it's no real difference. Obviously it's tactically you change and adjust a few minor things, but it's about trying to bring it back to how I want to play and not falling into her patterns too much.
The head-to-head between these two, 2-0, but they've never played on clay. So where are you landing here on this debate?
Well, first of all, having seen those roller coasters today in women's matches, I'm not making any predictions. I'm just going to think out loud here and let the fans decide because, okay, so as Ashley said there, she's got the advantage of playing with Casey Dell'Acqua for many, many years. So, you know, something that maybe Vondrousova might be surprising other players. I think Ashley's going to be ready for that. Also, the fact that she won the last two times they played against each other, even though it was not on clay, that doesn't really matter as far as Ashley's mind because she's going to be thinking about those 2 wins. Now, obviously, Vondrousova will try to use that lefty serve and try to go to Ashley backhand as much as she can. But I'm not going to predict anything.
Ooh, okay. So we're going to let Daniela not predict. She will at some point, but not just yet. But Eli has been out and about finding out from some people who will make a prediction on tomorrow's final.
I think both girls have amazing chance to win the French Open, and what a run for the young one. I mean, just 20 years old and being in her first major final. I'm sure she's over the moon. I would go a little bit more with Ashley tomorrow. She has all-around game, and she's been in these situations, not maybe at the Slam, but she's been at the big finals. She experienced it, and yeah, let's wait and see. But I give her a little bit more advantage.
I would say body. I don't know why. It's going to be very interesting. I saw just what Vondrousova said. She said that she's having the best week of her life, of her career. So when a player has a lot of confidence, they are very dangerous. And Vondrousova has a lot of confidence, but Barty also. So it's going to be maybe a tight one, but interesting one.
Interesting indeed. Eva Maioli and Julian Beneteau, they're going for Ash Barty just barely. What did you think? We put this on Twitter and Instagram. Over 10,000 of you voted. And here's the results from our daily questions. 64% are picking Barty, 36% for Vondrousova. But I don't know if that necessarily helps Ash Barty tomorrow.
Does it help Daniela make a prediction?
No. But what I do know, it's going to be a beautiful final because both of these girls, to me, one of the most talented we've got out there. Beautiful hands, beautiful timing. They both know how to hit the drop shots on clay. So I think it's going to be actually an extremely fun final to watch. But still, I'm not predicting.
Okay, well,
we do have the preview show tomorrow to get a prediction out of her, right?
We will do it at some point. And maybe this will help. This is the time we check in during the show. It's our Minute with Camille.
Hi guys, I'm back with you because we know who is going to play the final of the women's draw. Well, it's a huge surprise because Markéta Vondrousova, the young Czech, only 19 years old, is in her first final in Grand Slam. She's a great, talented lefty player. She can find really short angles with the forehand. She can play drop shot with the backhand. She's serving great and she's very consistent. What I like on this young girl is that it feels like she doesn't have any pressure at all. Sometimes she's smiling when she's making a winner and it's quite fresh and authentic, and I like that. Well, she's going to be facing Ashley Barty, number 8 in the world. The Aussie is only 23 years old, but she's the older one, and she's the favorite, of course, of this final. She has a different game from like the classic game on WTA Tour. She can serve really well with a nice kick on second serve. She can use her slice backhand also and with drop shots. So it's going to be kind of a battle of drop shot on this final. She also comes to the net and to build the point in a very nice tactic way. So it's going to be a very nice final. This final is going to be a great fight, we know that. But how can one of the two players win the title in terms of technique, of tactic? Well, for me, first, the most important point is the one who's going to deal with pressure in the best way. Actually, Ashley Barty on the semi-final was like up and down a lot because of her emotion, that is quite normal, of course. And Vondrousova, she really dealt with that quite good against Konta. So I think Ashley Barty has to start really nicely the match, playing her cross-court and down the line, playing drop shots, something really simple, because when you have pressure, it's important to be simple. Vondrousova, she has to stay authentic and maybe try to open the court before Ashley Barty. Otherwise, the Aussie is always playing with a lot of tactic using the whole court, and it's going to be complicated for Vondrousova to be always defending. So I think that's the main point, and we'll see now it's going to be with the heart, with the mind, and let's see who's going to win. Well, guys, I'm going to be watching, of course, this great final against two girls that never won a title in Grand Slam. It's going to be very excited. I hope you're going to follow that as well. And we'll see each other tomorrow, as usual. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so much for that preview, Camille. And actually, Barty and Vondrousova into the final helps lead us into tonight's RG Confidential, which is all about players who have had success at the junior level. Week 2 of Roland-Garros means the business end of the tournament for the biggest stars in the game, but it also means that the junior event begins, and it's a chance for us to get a glimpse of the next generation of tennis stars. Let's meet Leila Annie Fernandez and Lorenzo Musetti. They're two of the top juniors here at Roland-Garros, and they're going for Grand Slam glory in the juniors, but they also know that the experience that they're getting here among the seniors, well, it's priceless.
It's something very special for me because since I was young, Roland-Garros was like my favorite Grand Slam. The very first time I was here last year, I got butterflies in my stomach, and same thing happened this year. Saw the stadium and the atmosphere, the same amount of butterflies I have. To be able to see what the professionals do and to learn from them, it's amazing and I love it.
Of course, my dream is to be the #1 also of pro, and now I'm trying to get the first position in junior. And yeah, of course, winning a slam will be my dream for sure. And I'm enjoying all of this, and I'm taking all this emotion, and I like and I want to continue this kind of experience.
It's kind of a leap of faith to think you can't draw a straight line. Number one junior is definitely going to excel and be top 10 in X number of years, which is yet another reason to make the sport so compelling and fun to watch.
And whether or not these junior stars become household names, well, that's up to the tennis gods, of course. But to share the same stage, to be at Roland-Garros with some of their heroes, that's priceless.
The junior finals are taking place tomorrow. You can keep to date with those on @Roland-Garros on Twitter and, of course, the official website. Now, for the final time this evening, we are off to find Eli. Eli, where have you got to?
Come on, turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the right.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Look at that. Right here.
There he is.
There you go. I'm in the new media area. Amazing view on the court. Behind me is the press seats. Here are the radio booths. Up there is TV. It's amazing up here. The view is incredibly perfect onto the stadium. The view is even better onto you guys. You guys look great from here.
Thank
you
you.
look great from close also, but you look great from far. Yeah, I just wanted to ask Daniela, look at the screen. Explain to me this picture, please.
You know, if I'm not going to turn to you anymore,
You won't see
know
the
what
picture.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, that was a fun one. That was after we took the flight together with Novak and his team from Melbourne. And we have this crazy superstitious thing with Marian Vaida, actually, his coach, because every time Novak won the last 3 slams, is it? I managed to be on the same flight back with them. So maybe it's going to happen again. We don't know. But yes, we are kind of sticking to the same routine just to, you know, hopefully bring some good luck. And it was beautiful to see how happy he was and tired at the same time, obviously, when you take the flight from Melbourne back to Europe. So we had a lot of hours to chat and talk about different things. And then I let him go and rest and sleep because, yeah, he was almost passing out while we were taking that photo.
So who's paying for the ticket?
Oh, that's a good question. I should actually, talk to his
You should
team,
definitely
right?
work that. Yeah.
Good point.
So another good photo from Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Happy
That
with
was
these
a good
photos?
one. What's going to happen over the weekend?
The
Who
weekend
knows?
is business. It's business. It's finals all the way. We're focusing. You know me. Focus, focus, focus.
Okay.
Very
All right.
serious. No, we
Okay.
get that, Eli. Thank you very much, Eli.
Thanks, Eli.
We have the order of play for you tomorrow, just to confirm what's happening, because we had this reshuffle of everything from today. So Novak Djokovic and Dominic Thiem, they will resume at midday, and everyone will be hoping that they get that done and dusted one way or the other before the not before 3 p.m. start of Ashley Barty against Marketa Vondrousova.
Yeah, and then we'll close the day with the men's doubles final, and that's a full day of tennis. You can go, of course, to RolandGarros.com to see everything you need overnight. It's a packed Saturday. We're going to have a women's final preview show where we will get a prediction from Daniela Hantuchova on her final tip. But for now, it's good night from Paris, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thanks so much. Good night.
5-0. Voilà, c'est le match Nadal. 3 manches à 0, 6-3, 6-4, 6-2.
Jeu à 7 match. Babos Mladenovic. 2 manches 0, 6-2, 6-1.
Vondrousova. Zéro.
6-2.
Elle se qualifie pour la finale tchèque, Markéta Vondrousova.
Body. Jeu. Premier manche inizio. 7-6. 15-0. Quinze 0. Quarante seconds. Trente 0. Deuxième manche. Zéro 15. Jeu. C'est le match bâton. 2 manches 1. 6-7, 6-3, 6-3.